Have you ever found yourself trapped in a cycle of giving and chasing, only to feel like you're driving her further away? You've sent the texts, made the calls, offered favors, and yet, the more you push, the more distant she becomes. It's maddening, right? But what if I told you the key to turning this dynamic around is to do something counterintuitive, pull back, create space, and let her come to you? This might sound strange, even risky. After all, we've been conditioned to believe that the harder we try, the more someone will appreciate us. But here's the harsh truth. Constant availability breeds complacency. She doesn't have a chance to miss you, to wonder about you, or to feel that spark of anticipation. Instead of leaning in, what if you leaned back? In this transformative journey, I'll share with you the 9 powerful reasons why you become more attractive when you move away. These insights are rooted not only in modern psychology, but also in timeless wisdom, particularly the principles of Stoicism. By the end of this exploration, you'll see relationships, attraction, and even your own self-worth through a completely new lens. So are you ready to discover how to shift the dynamic in your favor and let her chase you for a change? Let's dive into the first game-changing principle. 1. The magnetic pull of distance. Have you ever noticed how much more intriguing someone becomes when they're not always around? There's a peculiar charm in absence, an allure in not being immediately accessible. Distance has a mysterious way of igniting desire, of reminding people of what they have or fear losing. But why is this so powerful? Humans are wired to appreciate what isn't readily available. When something or someone feels scarce, it instantly increases in value. But think about it. Have you ever craved an item that was out of stock or felt a pang of longing for a friend who moved away? The same principle applies in relationships. When you're constantly present, constantly available, your presence becomes a given. She knows you're just a text away, a call away, always waiting for her to respond. Over time, that accessibility can dull the excitement, and before you know it, she stops seeing you as someone special. But the moment you create space, everything changes. Imagine this. You stop replying to her text immediately. You don't say yes to every invitation. You're no longer always there. Suddenly, she's left wondering, where did he go? Why isn't he reaching out like before? This small gap you've created becomes a vacuum she wants to fill. In her mind, you shift from being a constant to being a question mark. And as we all know, curiosity is the birthplace of attraction. But here's the kicker, this isn't about playing games or ghosting. It's about reclaiming your own space and identity. When you pull back, you're not just doing it to trigger a reaction, you're doing it to focus on yourself. You're showing her and yourself that your world doesn't revolve around her. And that's incredibly attractive. Why? Because confidence and independence are magnetic. When you're comfortable with distance, it signals to her that you don't need constant reassurance or validation. You're secure in who you are and in your own company. This sense of self-assuredness is exactly what compels her to lean in when you lean out. Now, some of you might be thinking, but won't she lose interest if I'm not around as much? The answer lies in how you handle the balance. This isn't about disappearing completely. It's about creating a rhythm where your presence feels earned, where your attention feels valuable. You're still there, but on your terms, not hers. The magic of distance lies in the psychology of scarcity. When something isn't always within reach, we naturally crave it more. By stepping back, you're giving her the space to feel your absence, to appreciate your presence, and to realize your value. And trust me, when she starts to feel the pull, she'll come running. So the next time you feel the urge to reach out, pause. Take a step back and let her feel the weight of your absence. You're not just moving away, you're creating a space where she can truly recognize what you bring to the table. In the words of Stoicism, the closer we are to needing nothing, the closer we are to everything. When you master the art of distance, you'll find that not only does she begin to chase you, but you also discover a renewed sense of power and control in your relationships. Ready to explore the next level of attraction? Let's move on to the second principle and uncover why scarcity, when handled correctly, can make you absolutely irresistible. Stay with me, you won't want to miss what comes next. 2. Scarcity creates value. Have you ever stopped to wonder why luxury brands thrive on limited editions? Why does a sold-out label make us want something even more? It's simple. What is scarce is cherished, and what is abundant is often overlooked. The same psychological principle applies to human relationships. When your time, attention, and presence are always available, their value diminishes. But when you become a little less accessible, you immediately raise your worth in her eyes. Here's the thing. When you're always ready to respond to her messages, always the first to say yes to plans, or always available for a last-minute hangout, you inadvertently send the message that your time is not as valuable. She knows she can have your attention whenever she wants, and as a result, she may start to take it for granted. It's not that she stops caring about you, it's just human nature. We don't value what we think we can have at any time. Now imagine flipping the script. Instead of being constantly available, you start prioritizing your own time. You take longer to respond to her texts, not out of malice, but because you're genuinely busy pursuing your goals, hobbies, and personal growth. You start saying no to plans that don't align with your schedule. Suddenly, you're no longer the guy who's always waiting in the wings. You've become the man whose time is a privilege, not a given. And here's where the magic happens. She starts to notice. She begins to wonder why you're not as available as you once were. As she questions why you didn't immediately respond to her text or why you had to check your schedule before agreeing to meet. This subtle shift in dynamics triggers a powerful response. She starts to chase you. Why? Because scarcity breeds value. When your time and attention are no longer freely available, they become something she has to earn. She starts to see you not as someone who's always at her beck and call, but as someone who is busy building a life worth being a part of. And that's incredibly attractive. But let me be clear. This isn't about playing hard to get or manipulating her feelings. It's about living your life authentically and allowing her to see your value through your actions. When you genuinely prioritize yourself, your goals, and your happiness, you naturally become less available. And that scarcity enhances your appeal without you even trying. Think about the last time someone was too available to you. Maybe it was a friend who always said yes to every request or a coworker who constantly sought your approval. Over time, their eagerness probably felt less special, right? Now contrast that with someone whose time and attention felt harder to come by. Didn't you value their presence more? It's the same in romantic relationships. When your attention feels like a gift rather than a guarantee, she'll treasure it. So how can you start creating this scarcity in a natural and authentic way? Start by focusing on your own life. Dive into your passions, pursue your goals, and spend time on the things that make you feel fulfilled. When you're genuinely invested in your own growth, you won't have to pretend to be less available, you simply will be. And as a result, your time and attention will naturally become more valuable. Here's a challenge for you. The next time she reaches out, don't respond immediately. Take a moment to assess your priorities. If you're in the middle of something important, finish it first. If she asks to hang out, check your schedule before committing. Not only will this show her that your time is precious, but it will also give her the space to appreciate your presence when you do spend time together. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a shift in how someone treated you when you became less available? Or maybe you've noticed yourself valuing someone more when they weren't always around. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious to hear your stories. And if you're finding these insights helpful, don't forget to like this post and let me know what you think. Your feedback helps keep these conversations going and ensures we dive even deeper into these transformative topics. Stay with me because the next principle is all about mystery, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. 3. Mystery magnifies attraction. In a world where everyone seems to be broadcasting their every thought and move, mystery has become a rare and powerful asset. Where social media feeds are filled with updates about what people had for breakfast, where they went for lunch, and even their innermost feelings. It's as if we've been conditioned to believe that the more we share, the more connected and likable we'll be. But here's the reality. The more you reveal, the less interesting you become. Think about it. When was the last time you were deeply captivated by someone who told you everything up front? Probably never. It's the unknown, the subtle hints, the unspoken words, the gaps in the story that keeps us hooked. And mystery invites curiosity, and curiosity is a cornerstone of attraction. When she doesn't know everything about you, her mind begins to wander, trying to fill in the blanks. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What's your next move? This mental pursuit pulls her in, making her more invested in discovering the depths of who you are. On the other hand, when you lay all your cards on the table too soon, you eliminate that intrigue. There's nothing left for her to wonder about, nothing left to uncover. You become predictable, and predictability is the enemy of desire. Desire thrives on the unknown. But how do you cultivate this sense of mystery without coming across as distant or closed off? It starts with selective sharing. You don't have to hide who you are, but you also don't need to narrate every detail of your life. Share enough to keep her engaged, but hold back enough to keep her curious. Let her peel back the layers gradually, over time. The more effort she has to put into understanding you, the more invested she becomes. This principle doesn't just apply to romantic relationships, it's universal. Think about your favorite books, movies, or even public figures. The ones that captivate you the most often leave room for your imagination. They don't spell everything out. Instead, they allow you to fill in the gaps. That's what makes them memorable and compelling. The beauty of mystery is that it also gives you control over your narrative. You decide what parts of your life you want to share and when. This doesn't mean you're being deceptive. It means you're being intentional. By creating a sense of intrigue, you see yourself as someone worth discovering, someone who is layered and complex. Now imagine how this plays out in your interactions with her. You mention a passion project you're working on, but don't go into all the details. You share a personal story, but leave out just enough to make her ask questions. Each time you interact, you offer a new piece of the puzzle, keeping her engaged and curious about what's next. This dynamic not only keeps her interested, but also deepens the connection as she invests more energy into getting to know you. Ultimately, mystery isn't about manipulation, it's about creating space for genuine discovery. So when you hold back a little, you allow her the thrill of peeling back the layers of your personality bit by bit. And as she uncovers more, her attraction grows. Because in a world where everyone is oversharing, the person who knows how to cultivate mystery becomes irresistibly captivating. 4. Emotional restraint as a superpower. Let's face it, emotions are powerful. They can build connections, but they can also dismantle them in seconds if left unchecked. In today's world where reactions are often instant and unfiltered, the ability to exercise emotional restraint is like a hidden superpower. It sets you apart as someone who is in control of their inner world, someone who doesn't let external circumstances dictate their emotional state. Now picture this. You're in the middle of a conversation, and she says something that could easily trigger you. Maybe it's a slight criticism or an offhand comment. Most people would react impulsively, letting their emotions take the wheel, but not you. Instead, you pause, take a breath, and respond thoughtfully, or sometimes not at all. This moment of restraint speaks volumes about your character. It shows her that you're not easily rattled, that you're someone who navigates life with calm and composure. Why is this so attractive? Because emotional restraint signals strength. It tells her you're not dependent on external validation or approval to maintain your sense of self-worth. You're grounded, confident, and self-assured. This kind of emotional stability is rare, and it's exactly what people are drawn to, especially in moments of tension or uncertainty. But emotional restraint isn't just about handling conflicts or criticisms. It's also about managing your enthusiasm and excitement. Have you ever met someone who comes on too strong, too fast? While their intentions might be genuine, their overwhelming eagerness can feel suffocating. On the flip side, when you're able to pace your emotions, to show interest without losing yourself in the process, you create a dynamic that feels balanced and healthy. She doesn't feel pressured or overwhelmed. Instead, she feels a sense of calm confidence emanating from you. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control external events, but we can control our responses to them. This mindset is invaluable in relationships. By mastering your emotions, you're not just improving your interactions with her, you're elevating your entire approach to life. You become someone who can weather the storms with grace, someone who isn't swayed by the highs and lows of daily life. And here's another way to think about it. Emotional restraint isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about understanding them, processing them, and choosing the right moment to express them. When you do this, your emotions carry more weight because they're not scattered or impulsive. They're intentional and meaningful, and that makes her pay attention. In practice, this means taking a moment to reflect before reacting. When something doesn't go your way, instead of immediately voicing your frustration, you pause and assess the situation. Is this worth addressing now? Or is it something that can be let go? This thoughtful approach not only prevents unnecessary conflict, but also shows her that you're someone who values harmony and understanding over ego and impulse. Emotional restraint creates a sense of safety and stability in your interactions. She knows she can count on you to remain composed, even in challenging situations. And that sense of security is incredibly attractive. It positions you as a leader, someone who can guide the relationship through both calm and stormy waters. By mastering emotional restraint, you're not just enhancing your relationships, you're setting the stage for deeper, more meaningful connections. And in a world where emotional outbursts are all too common, your ability to stay grounded will make you stand out as a man of true character and strength. 5. The silent power of self-sufficiency. Have you ever noticed how captivating someone becomes when they seem perfectly content on their own? There's something undeniably attractive about a person who doesn't need others to feel complete, someone who radiates confidence and fulfillment simply from living their life. That's the essence of self-sufficiency, and it's one of the most powerful tools you can cultivate to draw others toward you, especially her. In today's world, where so many people are constantly seeking external validation, true self-sufficiency is a rare and magnetic quality. Why? Because it signals strength. It tells her that you're not looking for someone to fill a void in your life or to carry the weight of your emotional well-being. You've built a life you're proud of, a life that doesn't rely on her or anyone else to feel valuable or complete. And that kind of independence is intoxicating. But self-sufficiency isn't just about being physically or financially independent, it's about emotional independence. It's about knowing that your happiness, your sense of purpose, and your self-worth come from within, not from someone else's approval or presence. When you embody this mindset, you're not only more attractive, but you also create healthier, more balanced relationships. You're with her because you want to be, not because you need to be. And trust me, she'll notice the difference. Imagine this scenario. You're pursuing your passions, working on your goals, and thriving in your own space. As she sees you deeply engaged in your life, whether it's mastering a skill, building your career, or simply enjoying your hobbies. You're not constantly seeking her attention or validation because you're already fulfilled. This doesn't push her away, it pulls her closer. Why? Because self-sufficient people are like magnets. Their energy is compelling, their confidence unshakable, and their presence undeniably alluring. On the flip side, people who rely too heavily on others for their emotional needs often come across as draining or needy. It's not that their intentions are bad, but the constant seeking of reassurance can feel overwhelming. When you're self-sufficient, you eliminate that dynamic. You become a source of calm and stability, someone who adds value to her life without demanding anything in return. That balance is what keeps the connection fresh, exciting, and sustainable. Now, here's the beauty of self-sufficiency. It's not about shutting people out or pretending you don't care. It's about building a strong foundation within yourself so that you can engage in relationships from a place of strength, not dependence. And the best part, when you focus on your own growth and happiness, you naturally become more attractive to others. They'll be drawn to your energy, your ambition, and your unwavering sense of self. So how can you cultivate this kind of self-sufficiency? Start by investing in yourself. Spend time doing things that bring you joy and fulfillment, whether it's pursuing a hobby, working out, traveling, or learning something new. Set goals for yourself and work diligently to achieve them. Build a life that excites you, a life that you'd be proud of, even if no one else were around to see it. When you do this, you'll find that your interactions with her and with others become more meaningful. You're not coming from a place of need or insecurity. You're coming from a place of abundance. And that shift in energy is powerful. She'll sense that you're not chasing her because you need her to feel whole. Instead, you're inviting her to join you on a journey that's already rich and fulfilling. At this point, you might be wondering, how will she respond to this new dynamic? The truth is, people are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and independence. When she sees that you're thriving on your own, she'll not only admire you more, but also feel a stronger desire to be part of your world. But she'll want to share in the excitement, the joy, and the success that you've created for yourself. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever focused on building your own life and noticed how it changed the way people, especially women, responded to you? Or maybe you've experienced the opposite, where dependence pushed someone away. Share your stories in the comments below. Your experiences could inspire someone else to take that first step towards self-sufficiency. And if this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this post and let me know what you think. Your support helps us dive deeper into these powerful topics and brings more people into the conversation. Together, we're building a community of growth, confidence, and authentic connection. Stay tuned, because there's even more to uncover in the next principle. 6. Detachment cultivates unshakable confidence. Let's talk about one of the most liberating truths in life. Confidence isn't about how others see you, but about how you see yourself. The moment you detach from the need for external validation, you unlock a level of confidence that is both rare and irresistible. The principle is deeply rooted in Stoicism, which teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions, thoughts, and emotions, rather than the unpredictable reactions of others. Detachment doesn't mean apathy or indifference. It doesn't mean you stop caring about her or the people around you. Instead, it means that your sense of self-worth isn't tied to her approval or the outcome of any situation. That you're no longer anxiously waiting for her response to feel validated, nor are you swayed by the highs and lows of her attention. Whether she texts you back immediately or takes hours, whether she's enthusiastic or distant, you remain centered. That inner calm is where true confidence resides. Now think about the most confident people you know. They don't seek constant reassurance. They don't overanalyze every interaction or cling to someone's approval. Instead, they move through life with a quiet assurance, knowing that their value isn't up for debate. And because of this, people are naturally drawn to them. Confidence, especially when it's rooted in detachment, is magnetic. But here's the key. Detachment is a practice, not a switch you flip overnight. It starts with small steps. The next time you find yourself anxiously awaiting her reply, pause. Remind yourself that her response doesn't define your worth. Instead, focus on something within your control, your work, a hobby, a workout. Gradually, you'll find that the less you depend on external validation, the more self-assured you become. This shift in mindset doesn't just change how you feel about yourself, it changes how she perceives you too. When you're no longer seeking her approval, the dynamic shifts. She starts to see you as someone who is confident, composed, and independent. And that's incredibly attractive. In a world where so many people are chasing validation, your ability to stand firm in your own value sets you apart. Moreover, detachment empowers you in every interaction. You're no longer trying to impress her or win her over because you're already secure in who you are. This takes the pressure off and allows your natural charm and personality to shine through. You're free to be your authentic self, and that authenticity is what truly captivates her. By practicing detachment, you're not just cultivating confidence, you're also fostering resilience. Life is full of uncertainties, especially in relationships, but when your happiness and self-worth come from within, you're able to navigate those uncertainties with grace and poise. You become unshakable, and that's a quality few can resist. 7. Timing in communication builds anticipation. In today's fast-paced world, where instant communication has become the norm, the art of patience has all but vanished. But here's a secret. Timing in communication can be one of your greatest allies in building attraction. Why? Because anticipation creates desire. When you're not immediately available, when your responses are intentional rather than instant, you give her something precious, time to think about you. Imagine this scenario. She sends you a text, and instead of replying right away, you take your time. Not because you're playing games, but because you're genuinely busy or simply not rushing to respond. During that time, her mind starts to wander. Why hasn't he replied yet? What's he up to? That curiosity sparks intrigue, and suddenly she's thinking about you more than she might have if you had responded instantly. This isn't about ignoring her or creating unnecessary distance. It's about establishing a rhythm that keeps the interaction dynamic and engaging. When you always reply within seconds, the excitement of communication can fizzle out. There's no build-up, no sense of longing or anticipation. But when you give her space between responses, you create a natural tension that keeps her invested. Think about the last time you were eagerly waiting for a reply from someone you admired. The moments in between texts were filled with excitement, maybe even a little nervousness. That emotional tension is what makes the eventual response so rewarding. You can harness this same principle by being mindful of your timing. However, it's important to strike a balance. You're not ghosting her or leaving her hanging for days. Instead, you're pacing the conversation in a way that feels natural and intentional. This subtle shift in timing transforms the dynamic. Instead of you chasing her attention, she's now leaning in, eagerly awaiting your next move. There's also a deeper psychological element at play here. When you're not always immediately available, you send a powerful message. Your time is valuable. You're not sitting around waiting for her to text. You have a life filled with purpose and activity. This not only elevates her perception of you, but also reinforces your own sense of self-worth. You're showing her and yourself that your world doesn't revolve around constant communication. In fact, this principle goes hand in hand with the previous one on detachment. When you're not dependent on immediate replies to feel secure, you're naturally more relaxed and confident in your communication. And that calm energy is incredibly appealing. She'll appreciate that you're not bombarding her with messages or demanding her attention every moment. Instead, you're giving her the space to miss you, to wonder about you, and to crave your presence. Timing in communication isn't just a tactic, it's a reflection of your overall approach to relationships. It shows that you're thoughtful, intentional, and confident enough to let things unfold naturally. And as you master this art, you'll find that your interactions become more meaningful, more engaging, and yes, more attractive. 8. Calmness makes you irresistible. In a world that's constantly buzzing with noise, chaos, and endless distractions, calmness is a rare and invaluable trait. It's like a breath of fresh air in an otherwise suffocating environment. When you exude calmness, you naturally draw people toward you, including her. Why? Because calmness signals control, stability, and inner peace, qualities that are not only attractive but also deeply reassuring. Think about it. How do you feel when you're around someone who never seems rattled, no matter what life throws at them? Their presence is grounding, almost magnetic. They bring a sense of order to the chaos, a quiet confidence that says, no matter what happens, I've got this. Now imagine being that person in her life. When you're calm, you become her anchor, a source of stability in a turbulent world. But what makes calmness so irresistible? At its core, calmness demonstrates that you're not easily shaken by external circumstances. Whether it's an unexpected change of plans, a stressful situation, or even an emotional conversation, your ability to remain composed shows her that you can handle life's challenges without losing your cool. This resilience is a hallmark of Stoicism, where control over your inner world is prioritized over reacting to external events. Moreover, calmness creates a sense of safety and trust. When she sees that you're not quick to anger, anxiety, or frustration, she feels more comfortable opening up to you. As she knows she can rely on you to stay steady, even when things get tough. And that reliability, that calm confidence, is what sets you apart from the crowd. Now, calmness isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending nothing affects you. It's about developing the mental fortitude to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This takes practice, but the rewards are immense, not only in your relationships but in every aspect of your life. And one of the best ways to cultivate calmness is through daily habits that center your mind. Practices like meditation, journaling, or simply taking a few minutes each day to reflect can help you build a reservoir of inner peace. Over time, you'll find that you're less reactive to stress and more in control of your emotions. This calm energy will naturally radiate from you, making her and others feel at ease in your presence. Imagine this scenario. You're out with her and something doesn't go as planned. Maybe there's a long wait at the restaurant, or perhaps a minor inconvenience throws a wrench in your evening. While others might get flustered or irritated, you stay calm, even finding humor in the situation. She'll notice how unshakable you are, and it'll leave a lasting impression. She'll see you as someone who can handle life's unpredictability with grace, someone who won't crumble under pressure. And here's the beauty of calmness: it's contagious. Your steady demeanor will influence her, helping her feel more relaxed and present in your company. She'll start associating you with peace and positivity, which only deepens the connection between you. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever experienced the magnetic pull of calmness, either in yourself or someone else? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your insights could inspire others to embrace this transformative quality. And if you're enjoying these powerful strategies, don't forget to like this post and let us know. Your engagement helps fuel these conversations and keeps us exploring the traits that truly make a difference in your relationships and personal growth. Stay tuned, because we're about to dive into the final and perhaps most intriguing principle next. 9. How moving away sparks curiosity and heightens attraction. There's a peculiar phenomenon in human psychology. We often only realize the value of something when it's no longer easily accessible. When you move away, whether emotionally or physically, you create a powerful shift in how she perceives you. It's not about abandoning or ignoring her, it's about strategically creating space that allows her to reflect on your presence and its significance in her life. When you're always there, always within reach, your presence can become something she takes for granted. It's not because she doesn't care, but because it's human nature to grow accustomed to what's constant. However, the moment you step back, a transformation begins. You disrupt her expectations, and this disruption forces her to pay attention. Suddenly, she's confronted with a new reality, one where your presence is no longer guaranteed. And that's when the magic happens. As you create this distance, her mind starts to fill in the gaps. Why isn't he reaching out as much? What's changed? What's he doing right now? This line of questioning is driven by curiosity, and curiosity is a potent force in attraction. The less she knows about your every move, the more she'll think about you. And the more she thinks about you, the stronger her emotional connection becomes. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or manipulating her feelings. It's about allowing both of you the space to truly appreciate what you bring to each other's lives. By stepping back, you're giving her the opportunity to miss you, to recognize the value of your presence without it being constantly reinforced. And when she does reach out, it's not out of obligation or routine, it's because she genuinely wants to reconnect. This principle works because it taps into the psychology of scarcity. Think about anything in life that's rare or limited: a luxury item, a sold-out concert, or even a fleeting sunset. These things capture our attention and imagination precisely because they're not always available. Your time and presence can have the same effect when you learn to move away at the right moments. But how do you know when and how to create this distance? It starts with paying attention to the rhythm of your interactions. If you notice that she's become less engaged or that the dynamic feels one-sided, it might be time to step back. This doesn't mean cutting off communication completely, but rather recalibrating the balance. Focus on your own life, your goals, your hobbies, your personal growth. Let her feel your absence naturally, without forcing it. What's fascinating is how this distance doesn't weaken the connection, it strengthens it. When she experiences the void left by your absence, she's more likely to reflect on the moments you've shared, the qualities she admires in you, and the unique energy you bring into her life. So reflection deepens her appreciation and reignites her desire to be close to you. Moreover, moving away helps you avoid falling into the trap of overinvestment. It keeps the relationship dynamic balanced, ensuring that both parties contribute equally to maintaining the connection. You're no longer the one constantly giving, chasing, or proving your worth. Instead, you've created a space where she can lean in, where her effort becomes part of the equation. The key to making this work lies in your mindset. You have to embrace the idea that stepping back isn't a risk, it's a strategy. It's about trusting that your value doesn't diminish when you're not always present. In fact, your value becomes more apparent in your absence. When you're confident enough to move away, you show her that your world doesn't revolve around her, and that confidence is incredibly compelling. Ultimately, creating space is about fostering a healthy balance between closeness and independence. It's about giving both of you the freedom to grow individually while still maintaining a meaningful connection. And when you master this art, you'll find that the relationship not only survives but thrives, fueled by mutual respect, curiosity, and a deep sense of appreciation. By now, you've discovered the profound impact that creating space can have on your relationships. Each of these 9 principles, from the magnetic pull of distance to the quiet strength of calmness, reveals a deeper truth about attraction. It's not about chasing or overwhelming someone with your presence. It's about cultivating a life of value and allowing her to see that value on her own terms. When you step back and focus on your own growth, confidence, and independence, you're not only transforming your relationships, but also elevating yourself. Attraction isn't something you force, it's something you inspire. By embracing these principles, you'll naturally draw her in, not because you're trying to, but because you've become the kind of person she can't help but admire and desire. But remember, these strategies are not just about relationships, they're about self-mastery. They're about living authentically, grounded in your own purpose and worth. When you internalize these lessons, you'll find that the benefits extend far beyond your interactions with her. You'll carry yourself with a new sense of confidence, stability, and clarity in every area of your life. As you begin to apply these principles, pay attention to how your dynamics shift. Notice how her behavior changes when you move away, how she starts to lean in, and how the balance of effort naturally evens out. These changes may feel subtle at first, but over time you'll see the undeniable power of these strategies in action. And now it's your turn. Which of these principles resonated with you the most? Have you experienced the power of distance, detachment, or calmness in your own life? I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories. Feel free to share them in the comments below. Your insights could help others see the potential in these transformative practices. If you found these lessons valuable, don't forget to like and share this post with others who could benefit from it. And if you're eager to continue exploring the art of attraction, confidence, and personal growth, make sure to subscribe. Together, we're building a community dedicated to living with intention, authenticity, and power. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Here's to becoming the best version of yourself and to letting her see the man you're truly meant to be. Stay confident, stay grounded, and remember, the power to attract lies within you.